balancing the phone first. So I'm on a break from packing, and my body just feels like it's a bit seized up, and hence the need for a break. But there's lots going on, and ideally I'd have some entertainment in the background, something on YouTube playing, but the way the experience is at present for me, it's like I'm struggling to think and be present, to really figure out what to put on, because I have to be very selective about the content that comes into my life. I don't want to aggravate my mental health in any way, and also so it's a case of keeping focused. I'm not fond of putting on, at least where I am, I need to be practical at the moment. Too much entertainment, like I mean, the news is entertainment to a certain extent, but it's the tone of the content that's been expressed. It's like put across in a way that is very like speaking to the left brain, and that's the sort of stuff I need. And with what it is, the pressure in my body, the saying, you know, just have a break. It's a case of audio, just not able to right this moment. And I thought I'd just make a live stream instead to achieve the same task. And if it's more conducive to what I'm hoping to achieve than just complaining about life. And I'm going to speak just about anything for a few moments, and some sort of presence, and allow my senses to go into, or just be present, and from there I can feel, well, not what I'd like, just anything spiritual, just get a sense of what to talk about. The future of a civilization, the future of society. because reflective of my own life. Society, from my perspective, is effed. You're all aware of that. Imagine we could take it and make it anything. Because if we're going to make it something, we really need to keep it real. And if we keep it real, then stuff moment so I'm struggling to really chuck much stuff. That's just my my nature is to be very practical, and where I've become an adult and I've had the choice to purchase and keep things in my, they've all had that at their essence practical use. But a lot of it is well, it's not even a lot of it. It's like even the practical stuff is what do we ceases, how do we dispose of it? And we're a very wasteful world. And it's asking I'm asking the question, you know, if we're talking about spirituality, we're gonna keep things simple, because other than spiritual, then we can make teleport, and we can put our energy in that direction. But we find a place where we've become accustomed to stuff. And there's not a problem with stuff. Stuff isn't the issue. And a lot of the stuff I have, you know, you could easily create a new world with this stuff. And it would be absolutely fine. It wouldn't matter at all. It would need the right mindset to carry it in. So it's a case of new world, you know. Mr. Eckhart Tolle, he's a great artist. He'll talk about the new earth perspective. There's nothing really. He's a hero to me. Jacques. I can't remember his second name. I'm gonna say what it sounds like in my head, but it's not. It won't be something like that. Anyway, he's a futurist. Or American, and he's got a more ground perception of the future, in that he's willing to paint a picture of what it could look like, and he uses technology within that to say what we're capable of. And the guy, if you listen to him, he's a genius, man. He's like, you can hear, I mean, just those people that he's a wealth of resource, and places, buildings all around. trying to come up with solutions. I'm sure if you just ask one guy, you know, sussed him out, no, not say to him, but states, we just and billions of the United more problems needs to come time. The point is the amount of problems that we're creating, you know, and how do we want pandemic? We, I, well, and the way technology direct division, just the chance of individual desires. But happen happens. That control take time immediate this influence in man is really hours. Uh, you in the you know, it'd be free to at least yeah. Well, longer. Well, that level, do we aim for an Atlantis, like a actual city civilization with advanced spiritual technology? And what do we do with all this modern technology? Do we just discredit it? Do we use it as a basis to start the new world, given that we've forgotten our spiritual heritage? And how do we do it as a collective, so we don't have to shoot each other and piss around with each other's elections all the time? We need a world where we're like, you know what, you can do whatever you want, it doesn't affect us. And it really comes back to the monetary system as well, because it's like capitalism at its very core is like, who wins wins, who loses loses. And it's the same as war, isn't it? Because it's like, if I don't win capitalism, my people, my nation, my population will suffer. They'll go without, and they'll be watching on TV or without TVs what this other country is doing, and they'll be like, let's upthrow our leader because we don't have this or that or the other, because of money. So money isn't fair, money isn't equal, money is a division. At least in modern times, when we're talking about 8 billion people and different nations and balance and harmony, it's not really there, it's not really it. It's not that it doesn't work. It's not that it can't work. But it's almost like economics needs something that supersedes it, that governs it, other than capitalism. An ethos to what each individual, I mean, break it down to each individual on planet Earth and say, yeah, fine. We can have capitalism, but each individual needs to be catered for. Each individual needs to be cared for. And if one country is doing better, it shouldn't be a case of the government of that other country that's not doing better needs to interfere with somebody else's business. No. It should be a case of each country can, even if it's the bottom on the list of all the countries in terms of capitalism in the world, it's sufficient. You know, it's like the people should know it's not the government. Or at least if it is the government, it's on an individual nation basis. So it's like goods are created in one country and shipped to another. And that's where it really needs to be brought line. Because if the people were aware on that level that this good is made in another country, and those elements are just out of the government's control, because the government can only do what it can do on a financial level. And if we don't have flat screen TVs and we're still making do with CRT, you know, the big old chunky ones, well then that's fine. That's just the situation, that's the world. And on an individual level, we know we're getting the basics, everybody's cared for. And when the world economy changes, we might have the luxuries. But it really needs to be divided out between luxuries and the necessities, essentials. And somehow that awareness to really be given to the people, every person on the planet. So how do we go from something like this to something like what I've just painted? Because what I've just painted is a realistic avenue to get ourselves from this place to something better. Keeping it on this level, forgetting spirituality to a certain extent. Because not everybody's spiritual in this world, not everybody believes in spirituality. And that's fine. That's more than fine. Unless the collective psychosis wake up and start doing what they should be doing and getting the word out about what we're capable of as human beings in terms of our unlimited potential, then there's no point. We leave it there. But first and foremost, it's like we shouldn't be waiting around. I mean, the UK's infrastructure is amazing, for instance. It doesn't need a thing else. If we just stop and really went back to basics and really appreciated life and nature and the world and what we have in the present moment, and we didn't have to worry about war, and the people were aware and the value of life and possessions. There's no way we'd carry on the same way. There's no way we could think about building another skyscraper or another high-rise block of flats. You know, when this guy over here has 10 properties and this guy over there is renting it out for income, and it'd be easy to make homes for people. The government could instigate laws to purchase properties, because obviously if someone owns it, you don't take it from them, you give them what it's valued at. But we just stop thinking about economics, because economics is like a credit card. A credit card, you put money in, your credit goes up if you just put money in and out. So if you've got £50 and you do it 10 times a month, the same £50, you get more credit. It's insane. You don't have any more money, but spending money somehow creates money in this world. That's got to stop, innit? It seems like all the spiritual teachers have just disappeared. They're just like, there isn't any anymore. You know, back in the day you had Alan Watts, you had gurus from India, you had this person and that person, but at least for myself, modern day times, it's like they've all gone amiss. We've got Eckhart Tolle, and then we've got more if we really look. Well, what are they doing? What are they creating? How are they proactive? I mean, to a certain extent, it's like even David Icke, for instance, the conspiracy theorist, talks about it on a very practical level, like very grounded. That's his tone, like this is society, this is the world, F them, this, that and the other. We're suffering this way, we're suffering that way. It's all about unconditional love. And he's been saying the same thing for his whole career. I've waited for him for like 10 years to start shifting it to a more practical focus in some way, and he hasn't. The practicality is missing from spirituality. It's alright, this Buddhist sage and this Taoist guy and this spiritualist coming out and talking about the fundamental principles of the spiritual practice, and that's important. But how does that relate to the world? We could have 8 billion people practicing a real spiritual life and live in the same place. It's not where it's at. 2021, modern day times. Where it's at modern day times is the ones that roll up their sleeves and dare we're unlimited potential, man. We're unbelievable, untapped resources, and we don't access it. I'm not waiting for a new generation, man. My life is too painful. I speak my mind as a result of me hitting that place. But I'm an idiot with a lot of problems. I'm not going to be the one steering the ship, am I? I think somehow our minds are just totally manipulated to get information and paint a picture of the world, and think that in our heads, if we can see that picture, that's it, that's enough. Oh, I've got a spiritual picture of the world. It's this, it's that, it's the other. I'm okay because I have this awareness. But unless we really take that picture and span it out to the other 8 billion people on the planet, what good is it? And it's a real practical approach that we're in need of. You know, it's a real practical, solution-based. Spirituality that's needed, that's being called for. One that applies to modern day times and life. To the suffering, to the glory, to the technological advancements. How many TED Talks can we listen to, gain personal wisdom from, and go and do the same thing for the next month, 2 months, year, without making change? How many meditation practices can we do? How many hours can we sit in meditation? How many workshops can we go to before it's all like masturbation to a certain extent? You know, it's just like our own personal nothingness. What is spirituality when we're not spiritual as a planet? I'm not waiting for Jesus 2.0, given a technological phrase for an improvement to come by, because we've had how many prophets over the years from spanning all the different religions. They just copy it. They just piss off somebody else in the world. Don't agree with this philosophy because there are millions of people that are attached to this world and they don't believe in spirituality. And when Jesus comes by, when Muhammad comes by, when the Buddha comes by and they speak the truth, well, yes, the truth. It's a real truth. It's a grounded truth. But it's not the truth for all. Because to a certain extent, it's not evolutionary, it's revolutionary. We need an evolutionary prophet to come by. Because only then are they not going to offend anyone? Only then are they not going to look to be murdered because they've pissed off the wrong people. So it's like, you know, what are prophets? What is it? What are we looking at? Thousands of years of religion and spirituality, and God sending in his messengers to come and do this, that and another, and we're still in the same place. What's God doing? You know, we kid yourself or not, we've got friends in the sky, you know, and we've got enemies in the sky, surely. We've got 5 races on the planet, 5 colours, 5 skin tones: black, white, red, yellow, brown. And we don't question it enough, where we come from, where we're going, how did we get here? Look how big the effing universe is, man. If you really do watch some YouTube videos and see how big some solar systems get, some stars grow to, we're just like specks, man. We're like an ant in comparison to us. If you take the universe as a giant in terms of how big we are to the universe, we're nothing. And you're telling me that aliens don't exist? You're telling me that all of that classified information and Area 51 Roswell and blah 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 are all conspiracy theorists and people who just like imagination too much, then fine, believe that, put us in that box. But if you're honest, it's hard to deny that truth, that aliens exist. And how is it that we're 8 billion people making such a catastrophe on the planet, doing such atrocities to nature and each other, that we keep each other imprisoned and all of these things, when if you actually think about it, it's just through the collective pain of our society. You know, we don't know if anybody's just born bad. What we know is that people have lives and they suffer in their lives and they end up doing bad things. Is it their fault, or is it the fault of their lives in modern day times? But yet we'll imprison them. We still execute in some places in the world. Death sentences, death penalties. It was only back in the 70s, 80s that the last death or something like that happened in the UK. But it's like, we forget, man. We forget. We think it happened like in the 1800s or something. It's just like the entertainment of modern day times keeps us fixated on nothing. The pain of modern day times on an individual basis keeps us fixated on nothing, when there isn't a collective place, a collective resource that somebody could go to when they find themselves in that place. We're always fixated on what it looks like in relationship to society. Oh, you've hit that place. We'll give you the label of a mental health disorder. Oh, you've hit that place. What physical health symptoms are you experiencing as a result? We'll deal with your physical health. Oh, you've hit that place and you don't have food. Oh, we'll deal with your life problem. But it's all in relationship and reflective of society. What the F are we doing? You know, I put on YouTube, and that's how I connect to the world, Facebook to a certain extent. It's like people talk about doing good within their area of expertise, but it's like you're doing good, but you're not pulling the strings. You're just trying to do a little bit of good within a bigger madness. And to do good within your area of expertise, it's like, where are we going with it? What's the bigger, what's the end? What's the result? What's the ultimate collective mentality within all of that? And I'm sure the collective psychosis, the secret awakening that's happening, are aware on some level, and that you've got to have a master plan, because I can't keep watching people, you know, within the world, within all the different industries, and there's an area in my brain that listens to them and lights up and thinks, the way they're speaking, it's like they've got good intentions here, and they've got good intentions over there, and this person has, and this person has. We're in the same place, man. How much good are you really doing when you can't really relate, when we can't really relate to the real suffering on the planet? This person that's doing good in this field, and that person over there, and the other one. Yeah, you've never really been without food, you've never been on the streets, you've never experienced a physical health problem as a result of this society, or a mental health problem as a result of this society. And can you relate to this person over there that's just been made homeless and lost friends and family in a war and a conflict? And it's just like we can't relate on any level. So how is it that we can think we're doing good when we don't have the time and patience within our own lives to sit there and be present with the world in the modern day? And think that, yeah, I'm going to start doing good in my job, I'm going to start doing good in my life that's going to benefit all. We can't. The realism is, it's not going to be taking place. I don't know how. I mean, we need that within ourselves to know that we're doing good as human beings, don't we? We need self-esteem. We can continue being utter bastards, but if we've got an inner drive and wisdom that we're doing this, that and the other for the planet, then we can carry on for all eternity. But I don't believe that most people have really connected. I mean, I can't say I have. I've thought about it. I can't say I've connected with the suffering of the planet of modern day times. And my life has really beat it into me to think about it. How can we all do that? How is it possible that anyone's going to do that? So, say a few hundred, few thousand, maybe a few million manage to do that. What are they really going to do within their area of expertise? Our minds don't go to the future. I think that's where it's got to be at. We've got to start painting pictures of the future, of what we're capable of. You know, walking down the street and seeing homeless people still. Modern day times, we've still got homeless people. You know, it should be possible that the government tries to get people off the streets and makes it public. But look, you see anybody homeless, it's because that's what they want to do. Because we can't do any more. But we have people on the streets. And it's like, because life is pretty tough. And it's because society doesn't really cater for everybody. And as long as that's the case, it's the same as war. Few succeed, the rest don't. And that disparity creates pain. And as long as we've got pain in the present moment, we're still headlocked in the same place where the United Nations have fallen over. So we really need to think about a world that is absent of pain for everybody. But anyway, I just needed to open my mouth to lubricate my own suffering. I've done that, and I need to get on with my life, my fixation of a daily basis of things to occupy and keep me preoccupied with consistently, so nothing ever gets achieved on a real personal level or a more importantly societal level, which is where it's at on a personal level. And we'll keep turning on the news and we'll keep hearing about how this country's doing this and that country's doing that, and we're perfect. I would have loved it for them to have said, you know, in the back of my mind, do you know what I thought? I thought maybe the UK Special Forces, the Secret Services, whoever's running the show, have got it together that it's all about humanity and love. And they know on some level that other countries aren't quite so awake. And the information that they're putting out there is just to navigate that short path from the understanding that we have here, because everybody must think the same. We're part of this country, we're the best. We're part of this country. The country reflects my humanistic beliefs and nature. So I'd love it for the Secret Services to really be like, yeah, we've done wrong in the past. We're moving forward, and we know the world is still fucked, and we're like beyond it now. We're like we're thinking about on another level that we're okay. We're just so sure about what life means on an individual level that it's about humanity as a whole. And as a result, where we gain self-assurance on a national level, because the people that run the security for that nation have that in mind, but somehow the work they're doing, especially when it's put out there to the nation, that this country's up on a cold war with us, and it's a real strong thing to say. And I'm struggling. My mental health is stopping me from making the point that I was hoping to state, but it's like if somehow the enlightenment process, the awakening process could happen there, for a country like the UK, and for us to use our influence here in the world to just start behaving a bit differently about how we go about world politics and world affairs, and especially on that level, that we just don't get involved, or the involvement we have is very, very clear, very, very easily communicated to other nations, where it's like, due to us knowing the world on a very secret level, knowing what life is really about, we paint our own picture of the future, and that's where we're aiming for. And when we communicate to these other countries very, very clearly about the wrongdoings that are happening by them on an international level, it's always with that picture in mind. That new world in mind, that new, it's never going to be a utopia. We communicate it to them like, this is where we're heading to. This is who we are. This is what we mean. What the fuck are you doing? Basically, we don't interfere with you. What the fuck are you doing interfering with us? Can you take your beef somewhere else if you still want to partake within that level of consciousness? That's got to be where it's at, isn't it? But hey, I look like this, I speak like this, and I'm mad. So who the hell's going to listen to me? But I leave this not for a direct message to anybody, but as a statement of our thought processes, and that is what the language is that we should be speaking to the people who run our country. And it's asking the question of, them, look, we want to be on board. We want to be on the level with what's going on. I can almost believe that information that came on the news today about Russia believing they're in some sort of war with us on a secret level was for what I stated before, to just guide it away from any beef, any trouble. But it's still communicated in the tone of they're at war with us. So it's having a clear communication with the people of the country, exactly what's going on, and empowering the people to the same level without constant fucking mind games and mind language. I can't bear it. It's like one person could hear that message and think one thing, and you know that another person could think something totally different. But yeah, let's go and bomb those Russians. It's not where it's at, is it? Anyway, there's just loads of ideas there, and I need to get on. Let's aim for world peace.